Kamen Rider Build.
Hey YouTube, Kamen Rider here with my review of Kamen Rider Build episode 31, I believe it is. Okay, so this is the official debut of Claw's Magma. The Cross-Z spelling is still the most unnecessary thing I've ever seen in Toku. But yeah, it was the debut of that, and we learn more about why Banjo's special. And I'm not a huge fan of it right now. Like I said last week, I'm going to reserve judgment until we get more in this arc, and honestly, until the series finishes its run, because that's when we'll be able to see the full picture. Because there's been several times in Build where I've either been curious about a decision or questioned it, and then once the full picture comes into view, my mind changes. That happened in Episod as well. But I'm just not a fan of making Banjo this sort of chosen one special. Like, basically, Mars knocked up his mother, kind of like what happened to Star-Lord. And then they just played that song, "If you don't love me now," and then Star-Lord Pac-Man'd him. No, that's not what happened. Yeah, Star-Lord defeated Stalk in this episode. That would be funny. You thought Burt Macklin was dead? So did the president's enemies. Anyway, God, I get so easily distracted by myself. Anyway. Basically, Banjo's parents were security guards at like the building they originally held the Pandora's Box, which was like a Nanba Industries government alliance building. And when she was by like a rover that had gone to Mars, a little Mars specimen went up into her, and it wasn't what knocked her up, like she was already knocked up, but like it merged with him. It's like he's got three parents, his mom, his dad, and Mars, in a way. So we don't know whether it just transformed him into like a Mars-esque creature. Is it a possession? It's one of those two. It's probably some form of possession, I think. Like, there's multiple theories going on right now. Basically, one of them is that Stalk is Evolt, or that Banjo is Evolt, and Stalk's just a servant trying to get his vessel ready. I'm not sure. It could be it's definitely something in that realm. I think Stalk could be Evolt looking for a better host. I think that's a possibility, but I also think he could be like a servant of him, and he's trying to, you know, get that host body ready. Or it's possible that what's inside Banjo is something good, or like a freedom fighter of Mars or something. John Jones's dad, Miss Martian. No, but like something good, and he's trying to use it for bad. It's something in that realm. I think making him sort of chosen and having this extra backstory seems unnecessary. It's like the opposite of M, where last year when they went in depth about, because it's like, oh, he had 2 surgeries. I'm like, oh, what a twist. Like, but then when they went back and explained it, it made it better because you found out about how Paradox was involved. This video isn't about Episod, but you can see the TV reflecting my eyes. I'm watching TV because I can never stop watching TV. Anyway, God, I got distracted again. But we'll see how it goes, but I just think it's unnecessary because it's obviously been obvious that they've been building up hazard levels. Like, Stalk practically shoves it in your face every episode that he's trying to build Ryuga's hazard level specifically, but everybody's. But so in that way, they could still make him special, where he's this vessel, but you don't need to make him so overly special. Like, basically, they could have had it so, you know, Stalk was trying to raise the hazard levels of everybody that he was experimenting on. The Smash, Sento, Grease, Ryuga, and then Ryuga just happened to be top dog. He's not some uber special chosen one. He's just, you know, he was like the leader of the pack in terms of that. And then he becomes this vessel. I would be fine with that because it undermines what I loved about Ryuga's character, when he was just this dude that got caught up in all this. Like, all the people that got experimented on the Smash, except for Sento, who wound up being special in a roundabout way, but even then, he just happened to be, I'll go into that another time, but that, you know, none of them are like a chosen one. But like, Ryuga was just an everyday dude that happened to get mixed up in this, and he happened to be strong enough and determined enough to now be this vessel. I think that would have been better, because it kind of, like I said, undermines what I liked about him. And someone brought up last week that, well, Grease is kind of that. You know, he's this everyday dude that got caught up in it, which is true. They were both kind of that up until now. But the thing with Grease is I just wasn't as invested, because Ryuga, we followed him since the beginning. It was so satisfying when he suited up as a rider, because we got to see his journey to be coming to that point, his hero's journey. With Grease, it was kind of like, we just kept being told, with so many flashbacks, so many backstories, like, this is why he's sympathetic. And I don't think there's anything wrong with both of them being everymen. Like, that's what I liked about Gaim a little bit over Build, is outside of a couple family connections, it wasn't like everything's connected and special, and like, it was about these everyday people that were reacting to this situation. And I think Build's being robbed of that a little right now. I'm not like outraged pitchforking against the series. Again, I want to wait until I see all the pieces of the puzzle. But I'm just a little bit annoyed because Ryuga was my favorite because he was just this dude like that was involved. And then he became special. And I'm making him some sort of alien messiah. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So we don't know exactly who Evolt. We know Evolt Rider's coming. He even mentioned he needs the system. So we don't know how that's all working. The same thing with Stalk. I'm not sure what they're doing with him by making it a possession because that makes it too clean. What makes him fascinating was that he was this good guy, but then he used that connection to do bad, but he also formed a bond with them, and it makes it too clean if they can somehow exercise this from him and just have him be good at the end. I think either he should have been human that was sort of brainwashed, not like, you know, possessed or like put under a spell, but like brainwashed, like into believing this evil cause. Or he's just a straight up Martian that took the form of this guy's dad, or Misora's dad, and sort of became him a little bit in a way, which is why he formed bonds with them a little bit. That's kind of like a rehash of what Kabuto did a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see. That one I'm going to wait even longer for judgment because that one we basically only have hints and speculation, whereas with Ryuga we have outright answers. So, I don't know. I feel like I ranted a lot. The debut of Magma was really cool. I like the suit a lot. It's like extreme, like literally just lava flows on him. That was pretty cool. There was a funny moment when after he rescues Grease, he's like, "You missed my big heroic moment." And then there was the twist at the end where you found out that it was Sento's dad that experimented on Ryuga. So we'll see where that goes. That was kind of interesting, but again, it's another everything's conveniently connected bit. And I don't mean to sound so overly like annoyed, but it's just I like a lot of what I liked about certain characters and stories is being undermined, so I'm a little bit worried about it. I still think it was a good episode, and I still think the show's good. And I still think they could possibly turn it around, but I'm just not a fan of the decisions they're making. But the stuff with his dad does intrigue me, but I just don't like that it makes them like, oh, they were destined to be friends or make up for their sins of their past. There's nothing wrong with them just being two guys that met and became friends. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Overall, I'd give this episode like a 7.7. I thought it was solid. It was good. Good action. Good debut. Some good mysteries answered and teased, but I'm just not a fan of the answers, but I'm curious to see where it goes. Hopefully they can make it up into some sort of mishmash of what I liked and what they are trying to do. Anyway, that's about it. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Dawson Rider, signing out.